So here are all of my encouragements for you all to make terrible decisions, as I am the GM.
Ash has a crossbow bolt in her side, 0 dots in skirmish, and 0 dots in wreck. And I'm so excited to see this get even worse. So that's 1 vote for escalation.
Skelly has 3 guns and all the ammo.
Crossroads has no guns, but Crossroads is a gun powered by ghosts.
Have we established that your guns are special to you? I feel like we're establishing that your guns are special to you.
Before this crew, they were my only friends.
You've known us for 5 days. You've known those guns a lot longer.
These are my babies.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Rowan was starting to do this, and then he realizes to harvest. This doesn't help. Like, don't do that.
This is not.
No.
This is
Like,
not
don't do this.
thing.
Yeah.
Doing this to an executioner?
Yeah, that's not
I'm
what you
just
want.
like this, like.
We call that the go sign, you know? Like, yeah.
Oh man.
This theme's great. I will do a fortune roll. Notes. No thoughts. Head empty. 1! I rolled a 1!
Yep. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for yet another session of our Speculate special event on this channel, Girl by Moonlight, Fractal Spire. I'm very excited to get into more dream shenanigans with you all. I have been waiting for this particular session for quite some time, so I am very excited to get into some shenanigans. Our strange friends are waiting in the wings for us to continue engaging in some lovely Girl by Moonlight play. I hope that you all are having a wonderful weekend. If you can tell, I'm kind of flustered at the moment because I'm also very excited, but OBS briefly did a thing and I kind of panicked and then it stopped doing the thing, so I'm very grateful for that. So yes, thank you so very much for joining us for yet another session of Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire. I hope that you are as eager to see us get into some trouble as we are to get into that trouble. But before we do that, I should do some housekeeping stuff for this channel. A reminder that there are multiple very wonderful ways that you can support this channel and this community. All of which you can find links to by entering their commands in the chat. If you enter !ARVTube, you'll get access to the YouTube channel that will have VODs for Speculate and other content that takes place on this channel. So if you ever miss a thing, you can definitely follow up at some point in the future. !ARVCord for access to our Discord community if you would like to connect with some wonderful people in this community and make some cool friends, and also get updates about whenever content is coming up on this channel in the future. !ARV tweets for access to Gregory Wilson's Twitter, where you can regularly encounter Greg being as erudite and thoughtful as he usually tends to be, as well as getting updates about content on this channel and other wonderful things that go on in this community that we are presently in. !ARV will give you access to Greg's Patreon, where you can support the work that takes place on this channel financially. The support on that Patreon obviously allows us to not only do cool stuff on this channel, but sometimes is like uniquely empowering the kind of content that this channel does. So if you want to see more cool things happen here, definitely check out that Patreon. Also check out the Speculate Patreon. So !Speculate gives you access to the Speculate website and the Patreon, so you can listen to our recorded episodes that are edited by the wonderful Rudy Basso, help us continue to pay for that level of quality of audio as well, and ensure that we can continue doing cool actual play content on this channel and on the podcast, and hopefully get to the point where we can not only continue to support that actual play work, but support the players that actually join us on these things. So if you can help us over on patreon.com/speculate, that would be very lovely. I would like to mention personally that my own personal goal for the year 2022 is that we can at least get both of those Patreon funds up to $300 each, so we can increase some of the kind of quality of work that take place on this channel and on the podcast. So if you are not supporting both Arv's Patreon and the Speculate Patreon, I would love it very much if you did. And our shop if you want access to the merch shop, where you can get all kinds of wonderful content for some of the stuff that takes place on this channel, which doesn't include Speculate stuff yet, but hopefully, wink wink nudge nudge, I keep suggesting the thing, like, because it's a thing that I really care about, but hopefully that's a thing that can also happen. And of course, a reminder that there are so many injustices in the world that your engagement helps to resolve those issues in the real world, not only simply by being more aware and being more knowledgeable about those issues, but by doing what is necessary to help the people who experience them. !BLM for more information about the Black Lives Matter movement and ways that you can not only keep yourself educated about those issues, but financially and socially engage with those issues. We still, on this channel, assert and affirm the value of Black lives in the United States and everywhere in the world. And your engagement with those issues is critical to improving the lives of Black people in this world. !Ukraine for resources that you can support in the ongoing Ukrainian crisis. It is particularly important in this moment to continue doing the things that are necessary to improve the lives of people who are suffering at the hands of abject criminality. And if it is possible for you to support, please do whatever you can to help the Ukrainian people and their neighbors and allies in this particular time. The old soul link in that command will literally give you access to a thing that you can literally own while giving 100% of the proceeds to supporting the Ukrainian people. And !Help now. It is very important to reach out to people when you need help and reach out to people when they need help. This has been a very trying time still for a lot of people. A lot of parts of the world are now recently recovering from the circumstances that we're presently in. And not only being more knowledgeable about those issues, but having resources that allow you to help your friends and neighbors when they're struggling is particularly important. So please check those things out. And with that, let's get into some Girl by Moonlight shenanigans. A reminder that Girl by Moonlight Fractal Spire, our Speculate actual play series taking place on this channel, is sponsored by Evil Hat Productions, who will be the upcoming producers of Girl by Moonlight, designed by Andrew Gillis. Please check out all of the stuff that Evil Hat makes and does. Evil Hat makes some very good content all the time, and keep your eyes peeled for Girl by Moonlight when it is finally available for your perusal, because it is really dope. I wish I could show y'all what it looks like when we are looking at sheets and stuff. It is a beautiful game on a visual level, so definitely keep your eye out for that when it comes out, because it is very cool. But let us finally move over to... But first, let me interrupt all of these lovely people who were obviously having some very thoughtful conversation that I just cut off in the middle, because I'm an evil person at heart.
You just cliffhangered us real
as we move over here. Hello, everyone. It's the Strange Friends, everyone. Hello, say hello, Strange Friends.
Hello,
Strange Friends.
Strange friends.
That happened the one time, and I'm always going to make it happen every other time since. Thank you so very much. I am very excited to do some dream stuff with you all. But before we get into the game, I should ask all of you to please introduce yourselves to all of the lovely people in chat. So please let everyone know who you are, what you do, and who you will be playing this evening, starting with Mike.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael R. Underwood. You can call me Mike. He, him pronouns for me. I am one of the co-hosts of this wonderful show, Speculate, along with Brandon and Gregory A. Wilson, aka Arv, the host of this channel overall. I write science fiction and fantasy. There's lots of adventures and cool people and found families. You should check out this audio anywhere you want. It's called Annihilation Aria, and then after you read it, you should read books by Valerie. That's me.
Nice, thank you. Next, Valerie.
Hello, I'm Valerie Valdez. I am the author of Chilling Effect, Prime Deceptions, and the forthcoming Fault Tolerance, all excellent found family space opera stories that you should read before and or after you read Mike's stories, which are also amazing. You can find me here. You can find me on my Twitch channel, The Kids Are Asleep, which is when I play video games for fun. My God, I never get fun otherwise. Wait a minute, I'm here to have fun too. This is
I was
so
about
good.
to say, Valerie.
No, I was doing a dramatic thing. It's all good.
Oh, okay. Very good drama.
But yeah, I am playing Nina, who's currently in a hole. I hope somebody comes to get me out.
Oh lord, we're gonna get to that hole in a minute. Next, Yoi.
Hello, Yoigo England. He, they pronouns for me. I am a game and fiction writer, and today I am playing a very angry person known as Vermilion Dingway Ruth of the Outsider playbook. Ruth is currently not in a hole. But I guess if we're gonna rescue Nina, he will soon be in a hole, and perhaps a pickle as well. Oh, okay, I'll stop.
Oh lord. And last but not least, Iori.
Happy time zone, chat. Kusanui Iori Clarion was class of 2017, they, them pronouns. My debut novella, Hybrid Heart, will be out from Neon Hemlock next year. And whenever we have a pre-order link for that, I will spam the hell out of you. But for now, today I am here to play Cat Holly, the time traveler who uses she, her pronouns, and will hopefully contribute to getting Nina out of this hole.
Indeed. But before I introduce myself, a lovely welcome to all of the raiders who have come to join us this evening. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening. Thanks for passing through. And I hope that you're into some weird, dream-like magical girl shenanigans as we play Girl by Moonlight, Fractal Spire. Please stick around because it's going to be really fun. As for me, I am Brandon O'Brien. Pronouns he, him, or they, them. I will be your stage manager for this evening. I am one of the co-hosts of the podcast Speculate, alongside Michael R. Underwood and Gregory Wilson. And I make games, write poetry, do all kinds of things. And today, the thing that I'm going to do is cause problems on purpose for all of these four people. Where we left off in our last session was, after having a terrible day at work, and meeting up with his friends to have a moment of respite after having the worst day at work, Ruth was invited to go to a fight, and went to a fight, and the fight was weird and strange the entire time because their good friend, Dice Calandrine,
He's
was
not his good friend.
Good friend, yes, in scare quotes, not only challenged Ruth to a fight, but was very weird and very awkwardly hinting towards a thing the entire time, that Ruth didn't really get any clear sense of before having to leave the abandoned warehouse where this unsanctioned cage match is taking place because the police were there. So, after fleeing and returning home, and everyone getting a awkward night's rest, everyone woke up in a strange dream. Or at least, Vic and Nina had a particularly weird dream. The ending of which is both of them briefly saw one of their close comrades before Nina discovered that she was trapped in a hole. So, let's talk about that hole. Nina, I would like you to describe for me the worst day that you've ever had at work so far.
Oh, I'm gonna repeat what I said earlier, aren't I? All right, cool.
Oh no, not real world work. Oh my god, please.
Oh no,
because,
yeah, no.
Yes.
I'm just gonna modify it for Nina purposes. All right, so let's see. Nina has always been working. It feels like always, just every possible terrible dead end job that anyone could have. Nina has had, and so. Probably. Oh wait, is this going to be too gross? Maybe I shouldn't do this.
You are entitled in this moment to be as vague yet colorful as possible. I trust you.
I will try to be vague about it then. So at one point, Nina worked in a movie theater, and the worst day of her life in this movie theater, multiple terrible things happened. Not only did she have to clean up after thousands of children leaving their messes all over the floor because a giant children's movie had been released, not only did she have to clean the bathroom that was the apocalypse, including fishing things out of toilets that don't go in toilets, but then the soda fountain got clogged, and the only way to unclog the soda fountain involves the application of Nina's breath to the tube leading to the drain. It was truly the most horrifying experience of her life, and for the rest of that shift, she smelled vaguely of flat soda because they wouldn't let her change.
Ugh. This sucks. Oh my god. Oh lord. One of the things that we're learning the most during this game is how terrible it is to be an adult with a job. I'm so sorry. Okay. Nina. Very briefly, mere moments ago, you were looking what seemed to be ahead at like this open darkness where there's just this one warm light a ways away from you, where you had just briefly run into your old friend Euphony. The form of Euphony before all of this. The Euphony that you had met before you discovered that you were a dream knight, before you knew all of this weirdness was real. And after briefly interacting with that moment of like warmth and brief comfort, but also a kind of weird trepidation that you couldn't place your finger on in that moment, you discover that instead you were actually looking up the entire time. And when you get a hold of your senses, you realize that you are physically in a hole. There is light above you, this warm kind of street lamp light, that is not like directly above you, but you can see that it is somewhere nearby, and you can feel the edges of this hole, like cold, sharp stone. And after a moment, trying to like figure out what you're feeling and trying to see if you can probably even get out of this thing, you notice that the walls that were once dry are now very slowly feeling wet to the touch. you hear something in the background, but you can't really make sense of what that thing is. It sounds like it is taking place all around you, but it also sounds like it's taking place very, very far away. If you'd like to make more sense of that sound, you can roll.
All right. I will roll. Let's see. I feel like perceive, and I have no dots in perceive, so let's do this.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Your God. Your position is desperate and your effect is limited.
All right.
You will roll 2 dice and you will take the lesser result.
Here we go. That's a 1 and a 5.
Okay, a 1 and a 5 is not good. Because that means you take the 1. Hey,
Yikes on
The-
yikes.
the sound is very peculiarly more intense and less difficult to make any sense of. You are feeling now overwhelmed by the fact that this is the only sound that you are actually hearing, other than like the sound of your own blood in your own head as you are in this very small tight hole. It feels like you are being like overwhelmed by this sound. How does that make you feel in this moment?
Definitely very nervous and anxious, because if she's touched the walls now and noticed not only are they wet, but they are sharp, then she knows she can't get out of this hole, and she's concerned about what could be causing more moisture to be coming through, and where is she, and what is going on. So she has a lot of just very intense fear and confusion right now.
Okay. As you are attempting to channel that fear and confusion, I would like you to give me a 1 die fortune roll.
Alright.
To see how well that is channeled.
That is a 5.
Okay, cool. You're maintaining some level of composure. Which allows you, like, the brief kind of reminder. Like, dreams are a very powerful space. Often it becomes a mental kind of effort to remind yourself that you are presently in a dream. And in this moment, as you're feeling this kind of pressure, like, right, this is a dream. It still sucks. It still is going to have consequences. But it's a dream. I have some level of control over how I can engage with this. I just need to find out how. In the midst of that awareness, I would like you to give me a roll for attempting to exert that kind of control on the dream.
I feel like that's probably a defy roll, and I also have no dots in that, so let's see what happens.
Wow, no dots in defy?
No dots, dice empty. This is how we go.
Aha. Well, alright. So, I would like you to give me a defy roll. Your position is desperate. Your effect is limited.
Here we go. It's a 6 and a 5, so I got a 5 on that one.
Nice. 5 is good. In this hole, you are managing to like regain some level of composure. You are getting a better sense of your surroundings in this moment. You're realizing some things very briefly, or at least trying to calmly gain as much information as possible. And there is a brief moment when you like turn just slightly in this hole, and visually you are no longer in the hole. It's doing this very weird, obviously dreamlike thing, where you are obviously aware that there is a boundary around you, and you're like, that must still be the hole. I've been in situations like this before. But you can now see around you, and the space that you are in doesn't presently visually have that hole around you. You notice two things almost immediately, which is there is a small pool of liquid that is filling up to just about your ankles at the moment. And when you look down to see it, it is the amalgam of 5 or 6 different colors and flavors of soda. You could just look at it and know. It's flat and sticky and both very sweet and very stale. But you notice that you're sitting in it. Like it's up to your ankles, but you're no longer standing where you were, you are seated, and then you notice, oh, I recognize this chair. I recognize this desk. That's when you notice that you're at the office at the moment. Oh God. I would like you to give me one more roll to make sense of your immediate surroundings.
All right. I feel like that is probably, unfortunately, also a perceive roll, and I still have no dots in that. So.
Okay.
Here we go.
Desperate limited.
All right, that is a 4 and a 6, so 4 is what I've rolled on that.
Mark your desperate XP.
Yes, you've garnered quite a bit at this moment. Okay. So this is enough for you. Ah, yeah, this is more than enough. A 4. You look up at the clock, because that's one of the first things, that, like, there's a very loud, clock hanging over the door of the boss's office in this large cubicled space. For the intense psychological reason of reminding everybody that this is how many hours you have until I will allow you to leave. So like it makes this weird chiming noise every hour. And that's what draws your attention to it and makes you realize that it is 6 a.m. And you're not supposed to be in the office this early. So this is already kind of weird. But you also notice that you are presently the only person in this space at the moment. And then you start to hear ticking from very far away. In addition to the what you have now begun to discover is the soft trickling sound of liquid. And it is mildly possible that that trickling noise is more soda pooling around you. The ticking sound starts getting louder, and that's when you notice like very large versions of like those small wind-up robot toys from however long ago. Those existed before I did. But you see like 2 or 3 of them emerge from a nearby corridor. And they have what look like large round stickers of the faces of your co-workers. And they all wave at you. Hi Nina. Hi Nina. Hi Nina. The stickers' mouths move as if that's their actual faces. But you can see that it's just like plastered onto this thing. And they're like buzzing around in the office. Like, it seems like they are very busy doing very little, but they're moving very eagerly and very energetically. A couple more of your co-workers file into this space. You can acutely notice that the soda is up to your knees now. One another wind-up robot emerges from the entrance to this cubicle space with two large white bags that look like heavy with stuff. You recognize those bags because they're from your delivery job.
Oh no.
And this person, like, rushes over to you, like, kind of rolls to your desk. Places these two large, heavy bags. They're, like, tall enough to, like, literally obscure the height of this person if they held it right in front of them. And they rest it on your desk, and you hear your desk creak a little bit. And they're like, whenever you're done with this, maybe you can take care of these as well. It's very important that you do. You know why it's important, don't you? And they're looking at you very insistently.
Why?
Because if you don't do your best work possible, and then all of the robots in the room turn very suddenly to face you, and you heard like this like jagged kind of pinging sound in their neck, like all of their springs have just gotten very, very taut. And all of them say all at once, "We all die of starvation."
Oh no.
And in that like moment of tension, like that moment of intense emotional overwhelm, you notice that the sight of the room that you're seeing is like flickering now. Like you are now returning like very briefly to the hole that you're in, and then you're in this room again, and then the hole again. Like as if you are watching a game that is glitching out. What do you do in response to this like experience?
So I feel like again I have a sort of low-key awareness that this is a dream, and so at this point I think that I am going to actually no, because what would Nina do? Because it's easy to say she would defy, but I don't think she would. Would anyone have taught her any kind of like means of dealing with a situation like this in the dream at this point? Because we're in season 2, like maybe this is a time for like a flashback or something.
So, I know how we're getting to this point, because I do think that a flashback is in order, but now we have to discover how we get there. So I would like you to give me a resistance roll.
Okay. And so I would be probably using sun for this, right?
Let me check again to make sure, because I was gonna say that I think it's moon.
Okay. Because it's the one that I have the most dots in?
That is just a coincidence, it would appear.
Okay. That's the important thing.
Twitch has changed to a loading circle.
Yes, I will briefly return to Twitch. I apologize.
Okay, so moon is despair and heartbreak, stars is panic and social pressure, so yeah.
Right, yes. So it would then be stars, yes.
I have no dots.
That's...
It's fine. No, this is exciting. It makes it more fun.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no. No springs. I have so much stress right now. This is going to be really exciting one way or the other.
I am sure it will be. Oh my god.
You can use social links to reduce stress.
Okay.
Yes, you can
and
also
we
do
have
that.
social links right now.
I do. And so I may have to. I'll be like, what would Ruth do? He would
Don't do what Ruth would do. We have already
punch
gone
it.
over this.
and then Nina punches a robot. And so wait a minute, that sounds amazing. That's what I do. That's literally what I do. Hold on, I need to roll though.
Okay, so correct me if I am wrong, Mike, but you will still be rolling 2d6 and we will be taking the worst of those results.
If Nina has no actions in Moon, then yes.
In stars. So
stars.
yeah, this is panic or social pressure. Although I feel like it could be sun though, violence or fear, because this is a fear state right now. I would think.
Nah, it's panic. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. The roll is incoming. Dun dun dun. All right, 2d6. Level 6.
Wow.
Whoa.
What would Ruth do? Works every time. Nina punches a robot, and then Nina's like, "Ow, though! Why did I do that?"
Okay.
I wish that was a real crit so that Nina could get stress back.
Yeah, so do I. It really is just a 6, but it means that you take no stress.
Woohoo! This is the greatest moment of my life.
Oh my god, this is good story. I love this because what happens is you are like in that moment, like when all of these robots turn to you, like just before it starts glitching out even. You are about to freak out. And then you remember again. This is not a dream. This is just a dream. This is something I have control over. I have been given resources that allow me to deal with the thing. And then you remember something that Euphony taught you in one of like your first trips through the dream. Because like the dream was starting to break apart and you were losing awareness of where you were, and they gave you like something that you can practice that will allow you to like gain more control in that moment. What did they teach you?
I think that Euphony taught me to focus on myself, which is not a thing that I'm accustomed to doing. Nina is the kind who sort of low-key dissociates in that, like, it's a means of keeping herself invisible, is that if she doesn't pay attention to her own body, it's as if she doesn't have one. And so I think that Euphony, to the contrary, was like, no, you need to think about your body. So, like, start at your head and focus yourself all the way down to your feet, basically, and just feel every single part of yourself and tell yourself, I feel my head, I feel my eyes, I feel my mouth, I feel my neck, I feel, and just like feel your body from top to bottom.
Okay. I would like you to give me a perceive roll.
Okay.
Your position is desperate, your effect is limited, but you get +1 die.
Okay, I have no dots in perceive, so.
So you will roll 1 die.
Okay, 1d6. Here we go. It's a 6!
Nice!
Oh, finally, the dice loved me for a second.
So you don't close your eyes because you know that you still need some level of visual awareness in this space. But you like pause and take a breath and start focusing on your physical sensations. And you notice that as you are like working down from your head to your neck and further, that all of these sensations that you know are coming from the office are being manufactured in this moment. Like, they're softer, they're not as solid as other dream experiences that you have had. As you come lower down into your body, you notice that the soda is unfortunately still there, and the hole is unfortunately still there. But you're having this realization at the same time as you are seeing the office. And that that vision starts to stabilize, and you realize that the office is still there, and those wind-up robot toys are still staring at you expectantly. And that's when you notice out of the corner of your eye, there is someone else in this room. There is someone else in this room. Not a robot, not a colleague. I've never met this person before. You see this well-built, very strong-looking individual in a Prussian military uniform walk past you to the right and enter your boss's office. You are immediately stricken with, I need to figure out what that is, because that's usually where dream shenanigans begin. But that's when you notice that you're still in the hole and you can't leave the hole. So you just see this person enter the office. But even though that office has large glass windows on either side of that door, when they walk past the door, when they close the door behind them, you never see them again. The office still looks very empty. And as you have that realization, we're gonna cut to Vic. Vic, it is the middle of the night. You just woke up from the weirdest dream. And as protocol dictates, the very next thing that you did was message all of your friends. Cat checked in first. Cat is awake. Cat did not have the weird dream. Next, Ruth checked in. Is awake. Did not have the weird dream. It's been 16 minutes.
So here's where we will probably need to clarify some of the mechanics of what it looks like when this team goes into a dream together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we have to get into the same place? Do we use sense memory anchors? Like, would each member of the team have some small artifact that's associated with the others that would let us do kind of like dream navigation, like a dream navigation compass kind of thing? Because that's where my head is in terms of what Vic would be planning to do.
Mm-hmm. So, dream navigation compass is a very good analogy for the thing. So, one of the easiest ways for a dream knight to enter another person's dream is to enter that person's physical space while they're sleeping, and then walk into a reflective surface. So that often means that in weird, dire straits, often you need to break into someone's house and walk into their bedroom mirror. But specifically because y'all have been targeted by agents of certain dreamscapes before, Euphony gave y'all a tool a long time ago, which was they asked you very early in the induction process to buy a mirror for yourself and leave it in your bedroom for one night. And then the other night after that happened, Euphony came to all of your houses with a hammer, broke all of your mirrors, and took the very largest shards and gave each of you a shard from someone else. So there is like this small kind of like jagged mini shrine of just like pure glass in your bedroom that allows you at any moment in time to just enter any one of your friends' dreams. And conveniently enough, it can often confirm whether someone is presently in a dream and whether that is a dream or a nightmare, but only after you have already verified it with everyone else. So after you made that phone call, you looked at that, like these like large, jagged pieces of glass, and you noticed that the one that you had just placed, like carved a like rough letter N under, in the bedside table where it presently resides, is glowing black. Like tendrils of black smoke are now like very softly emanating from that glass, and you know that if you touch it, you will immediately enter that dream. Cat and Ruth, you noticed the exact same thing, but much less clearly than Vic does. Like, you notice that something is definitely amiss with that piece of glass in your own rooms. And you notice that that is clearly a sign of nightmare energy. But it doesn't seem like as intense as it seems for Vic. So will you all enter the dream?
Let's go. Let's roll.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As each of you touch your shards of glass, you, as usual, feel the strange sensation of getting very, very tired. And your eyelids feel heavy and you feel them closing. And at the exact moment when you fight the urge for your eyes to close, you are in Nina's office. Which of you have been in this building during work hours before?
Definitely not Ruth, I don't think.
Cat's been there once, like dropping off takeaway for Nina because she was getting something when she was on the way to work and saw, oh, they have the cookie Nina likes. I'm going to get that for her and just drop it in.
So you will. So I know what happens next. I would like each of you to give me a perceive roll, but Cat gets +1. Your position is desperate, but your effect is standard.
Do I have dots and perceive? I don't have dots and perceive.
Well, you have one. You have one die now. Vic, you were about to ask a thing.
Yeah, so I have Watchful, which says when you gather info to anticipate possible threats in the current situation, you have +1 effect level. That applies here, right?
Yes, so that puts you up to great.
Risky great?
Yeah.
Cool.
In fact, I would like, Vic, I would like you to roll first.
Okay. I have 1 in perceive. I would love to roll 2 here with great effect, so I'm deciding whether I want to push or is there a poison promise that might be available for such a thing and getting myself or others into trouble.
There is a poison promise, which is the poison promise that I will most likely invoke regularly often whenever you enter the dream. You are, and I'm giving you this information in universe because this is a thing that Vic knows. Previously, when interacting with the last agents of the dream that you interacted with, you notice that every once in a while there are dream alarms that trigger whenever someone willingly enters the dream. As a result, you have all worked very hard to, as often as possible, try to be as cautious as possible whenever entering the dream, to the point where it becomes like commonplace for you all, but every once in a while you let your guard down and you slip up. And if you accept this poison promise, there will be a 4 clock on Agents of the Dream detecting that you are here.
Just the clock or 4 o'clock?
Just the clock. It doesn't tick. You will just become aware that there is an alarm, and then from that point onward, I will have to ask you to be extra careful whenever engaging with the dream.
Okay.
Or else it will tick.
Yeah. How do we feel about that, folks?
I'm down.
A reminder that when you are in the dreamscape while untranscended, all of your actions are risky at best.
I think Ruth would not want for that to happen, but also Vic not doing the thing Ruth wants would be very their relationship, I think.
Okay.
Even though they're rivals.
So yeah, I think I'll take it. And maybe what this looks like is Vic kind of like walks into the room from the edge of the frame as like we, the audience, see it. And then the shot, like the shot is replaced by another angle where Vic walks in from another room, and basically they are like popping around the room by slipping just out of perception and back in to be able to get a broader view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to roll perceive plus 1d. So that's going to be roll 2d6. I'm going to write speed rate. Come on, dice. 2 and a 6. Good thing I took that promise.
Good lord. Nice. So, I have information for you, but I want everybody else to roll as well. So, next, Cat.
Needed to unmute. Okay. So, also rolling with Risky Great?
Your Desperate Standard.
Desperate Standard. Okay. 4 and a 5. And I am marking my Desperate.
Okay, also good. Alright, you said you had no dice and I gave you plus 1d. So you should actually just be rolling 1d6 for me, and that's the...
Whoopsies, let's see. That is a 5.
Right, good, cool. And now, Ruth, please also give me a Perceive roll, Desperate Standard.
Unmuting and a perceive roll. I have no rolls, no dots in it, and Ruth does have Reckless as an ability. When you make a desperate roll, you may choose to get plus 1d for the roll if you also take minus 1d to any resistance rolls against consequences for your actions. But I don't think him looking around at the dream right now is something that he perceives as a desperate action that he is actively pushing for, so I don't think I'm going to be using that ability for this roll.
Okay,
so I'll
fair
just be
enough.
doing 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking the lower. That's a 1 and a 2.
Noted. Oh lord. Okay. Ruth, you're in an office building that you've never been in before, and you notice that, like, the one thing that you can kind of clearly wrap your head around in this moment as you enter this dream, while still, like, being dazed from sleepiness, etc., is that Nina is here, seated, and what looks like a small puddle of brown liquid.
Do I see the others? Are we all in the same space?
Yes, you're all in the same space. You are vaguely aware in the periphery that Cat is to your left. And you don't immediately see Vic yet. Cat, you notice most of the room kind of clearly. You see all these goddamn robots are still staring at Nina. you are like one of the first things that you notice when you notice Nina is that the liquid that is pooled around Nina's legs isn't moving. Like, it's just like rising upward in a circle, and you have no idea what that means at the moment, but it strikes you as very weird and very bad. You notice that not only are there wind-up robot toys in this room, but you can hear others in other rooms. And other than that, like, the space just looks mostly like non-threatening in the immediate moment, which is usually a bad sign for you, because it means that when you open the next door, that's when a threat is going to occur. Vic, you do your brief survey of the entire space, walking in and out of rooms. In like very Scooby-Doo energy, you walk into a room to the left and you re-emerge in a room from the right. You can open every door except the boss's room door at that moment, like the door right under the clock. But the thing that you do gather very suddenly is, you know that this office space is in the Port Cloud Mirador. You know that it's several floors up, but not like, the building is very big, but it's not that big, you don't imagine. But one of the very first things that you notice as you emerge into and out of doors that have, or rooms that have outward facing windows, that you are looking into what should be like the sky right under the clouds, but you are looking out over the stratosphere at this point. And that's like, ooh, that's dream shit. I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of weird. You notice that when you try to hold the handle of the door right underneath the clock, you notice that the knob changes shape very briefly whenever you put your hand on it, and then stops changing shape whenever you're not touching it anymore. As if to imply that someone has magically affected the image of that door so that you think that it's supposed to be opening a certain way, but you probably need something that you'll need to discover in order to open that room. Yeah, you get a very good sense of the space. You are aware that it is presently potentially alarmed, if not booby-trapped. You know that any wrong move in this space can potentially lead to alerting minor agents of the dream, who will probably come to attack you or subdue you immediately. Which is a thing that you know would be bad, because if you are defeated in the dream by an agent of the dream, it probably means that you're never going to wake up again. And that would suck. So yeah, is there any information in particular that you'd like to know as well?
Where is Nina? Is kind of at the top of my list.
Nina is seated at her desk. You are acutely aware that what everyone else is like still trying to make sense of around Nina is like, it strikes you very immediately as, oh, that's the hole that I was in. And like, it gives you like it reminds you very suddenly that when you were in that dream earlier, you were there with Nina. So this is probably a byproduct of that. You are also the only person that can hear Nina speak.
So Vic, kind of having done the survey and kind of interacted with the door, turns to Nina and kind of walks up as close as like dream logic will allow, and trying to talk in a calm but warm voice, and saying, Nina, we're here. Everybody's here. It's going to be all right. Just focus on my voice and we're going to get out of here. Okay?
Okay, but somebody went into my boss's office.
Somebody normal? Somebody...
No. They were wearing a weird uniform and they are not supposed to be here. And I couldn't see them once they went inside.
Okay. Can you get up? Are you stuck?
I am super stuck and it sucks.
Okay. And then like Vic kind of moves around to be in front so that like Nina can see. And then like we'll look over to the others and say, well, we need to get her out before we can do anything else, right? And here is where Vic, I'm flagging that Vic is breaking Deed's honor code. So Deed, who is Vic's avatar, is very hardcore, and the honor-bound move on the Guardian sheet says, your code forbids all but one of the following, and the one that is not forbidden is violence. Asking for help is forbidden, but Vic kind of like straightens and kind of gestures to Cat and Ruth. Give me a hand. We need to get her out of this.
Cat goes immediately.
Ruth is moving before Vic has even finished the sentence.
Brandon, can you tell me what's on some of the other desks in the area?
I would like you to give me a perceive roll.
Oh no.
Risky standard.
1d6?
While I... did you roll already?
No, I'm asking you.
How many dots do you have in perceive?
None of them.
Yes, you'll be rolling normally. You'll be rolling 2d6 and I will be taking the lesser result.
Oh. That's a 1 and a 3.
Oh lord. You do not notice anything particularly useful. You notice like lots of pens, lots of pieces of paper. It strikes you that there is nothing particularly of value to your particular goal in this moment that would help you like get Nina out of this hole. Also, Vic, just idly, I would like to let you know that the moment you did that, you heard someone curse under their breath, and you know that only you can hear it. Vic, I would like you to also give me a perceive roll.
Is this another place where my increased effect will apply?
Yes, it would. So you are rolling Desperate Great.
With that effect, could I slide it back to Risky Standard?
Yeah, you can.
Like basically knowing enough of threats to be able to like take it a little bit more careful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Perceive Risky Standard. Roll 1d6. 4.
Okay, cool. It strikes you in this moment. Dream logic dictates that sometimes when you open a closed space, sometimes you will discover things that are not actually like beholden to that space in the real world, because in the dream sometimes things will just be populated by things because they're supposed to be populated by them. So you take the somewhat very ridiculous risk that maybe if I just open one of these desk drawers, I'll find something that's not supposed to be in an office space. And you do that enough times where you find a very small hammer, like a hammer that is too small for you to wrap your entire hand around its handle. Like it's like it can fit almost into your entire palm. And you also find in one drawer you find a machete, and in another drawer you find a cinder block.
Vic will bring the three over to the desk next to Nina's and say, "Arm up." And then, do we want to all try to grab Nina and pull her out of the soda? What are we thinking?
I'd like to say that when Ruth appeared in the dream, because their whole thing of appearing in dreams is that they just show up suddenly in the spot where you didn't expect them to and where you weren't looking. So it's like that very classic camera pan over here. Oh, there's nothing there. Pan back. Oh, there's Ruth. That's how he shows up. So I think when he first appeared in the dream, the first thing he would have done is either snap his fingers in front of Nina's face and not touching Nina because he has a thing about that, but try to drag the chair. So he would have had some inkling of what can or cannot be done with that space. So, Brandon, I suppose, what would those actions have resulted in?
Oh. You still have no dots in perceive, if I'm not...
No.
Right. Give me a perceive...
Squishy.
Oh lord, give me a perceive roll. Desperate...
Okay.
Standard.
Desperate standard. Again, no dots, so rolling 2. That's a 3 and a 5.
Okay, cool. You only now notice a thing that Vic already knows. Which is, you can see the height of whatever this thing around Nina's body is. And you know that it's actually... meeting you at the top of your head. This thing is particularly very high. But, beyond that point, it looks like there is nothing above that. You can't tell if it's sealed at the top or if it's open at the top, but you know that it rises up to a certain point. So, if you were to try to drag Nina out, you'd have to, get up on a desk and hope that you can, leverage all of that. But other than that, you would have to interact with the boundary of the thing itself.
Ooh.
Also, I will give you this almost for free. In fact, as you briefly try to strain to realize this thing, you realize that you're hearing what sounds like music from somewhere very nearby.
Is it music that I hate?
It's music. It sounds like someone is singing, but you can't really make it out because it sounds very, very muffled. You can't tell whether it's something that you hate one way or the other because you can't really make it out at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that, and no one else knows it yet. So yeah, Vic, I will also give you this. As you start getting a better sense of the space, you realize, even though it is very, very very faint, a very small trickle, almost like it's not moving at all, you notice that the brown liquid that Nina is sitting in is actually kind of leaking out from one side. And that may be potentially a place that you can leverage to at least get the liquid out, if not potentially break this entire wall. Nina, I would like you to give me a 1 die fortune roll.
Okay, here we go. That's a 1.
No!
As per dream logic, you didn't notice it because you weren't thinking about it at the time. And then when you start thinking about it again, the liquid is now, chest height.
Oh no.
It feels very sticky and very gooey and very gross.
Oh no.
Yeah. You can smell more of it now, and it is very emotionally triggering, I imagine. But yes, Vic, if you wanted to attempt to, I don't know, pry a brick from this, pry a part of this hole open.
I think Vic spins the small hammer to hand it handle first to Ruth, who it seems like Yoi has indicated maybe doesn't take it. So I'm happy to kind of shift the camera over for Ruth to get to address this.
Oh god, so it's a very small hammer?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a
hammer
small
that fits in the palm of your hand?
a small hammer, a machete, and a brick are the options.
God. So basically, Ruth has had a very, very long day. He's had a very, very long fight with a very terrible person that he hasn't told anybody about because that's his own life and he's not going to bother anybody with it. And then this person who was really chummy with the other person that he really hated prior to all of this happening hands him a ridiculously tiny hammer while he's trying to get his friend out of a soda-filling hole. And so he looks at Vic and says, I have goddamn hands.
Okay.
All right, Slugger, give it a shot.
Aha. So I would like everyone to make a defy roll.
Whoa, do I have dots in that? Oh, I have no dots in this either.
What's our position?
Your position is risky. Your effect is limited. But Vic gets +1.
That's going to be a 4 from me.
3 for me. 3.
4 for Vic.
Ah, okay. Cool.
I have 2 ones.
Oh lord.
Ruth is not having a good time, guys.
Oh no!
I'm blaming this on Dice. Literally. But especially Dice, because Dice has thrown him off completely. He's not okay.
This is not going to be the last time that bit comes up.
No, it's not.
Ah, okay. So, this and what happens next dictates that before I give you any information, we should probably definitely make sure that we do the engagement roll. Because things are gonna get sticky. So,
no.
I'm gonna make Dice
They
roll.
already are.
I'm gonna make Ruth roll these, of course, because
Damn it.
as an emotional consequence for that. Let's answer some questions. You'll get 1 plus D for free because there is always hope. Is the mission particularly heroic or noble? Take +1 D. Does the mission's goal or methods reflect the worst parts of the protagonists? Take -1 D.
We're trying to save our friend from a hole. It's very heroic.
Yes, it is very heroic. Yeah, that's +1. Is the mission following through on details from the protagonist's investigation? Take +1 D. Are the protagonists acting rashly or on very little information? Take -1 D. You were summoned here because your friend is in trouble, so you have no information, so -1. So you are now back at 1 base die. Does this mission determine the fate of a friend? Take +1 D.
Yes.
Are troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way of this mission? Take -1 D.
I mean,
think the
does
DM is
workplace
best
trauma
for that.
count as that?
I mean, what we will learn very soon is that it's not Nina's mundane life we're talking about. The rules as written dictates that it's -1 D. I'm sorry.
Okay, so -1 D.
So we're back to the standard 1 base die again.
Mm-hmm. Does the mission's tear exceed the current tear of the investigation track? Take -1 D per tear below mission tear, but the mission's tear does not presently exceed. Wait, what? Yeah, it shouldn't.
So we're
We're
zeroed
at-
out on this criteria.
We're
All
at
right.
tier 0 on investigation. So
Yeah.
if this is a tier 1 mission, then we are below.
Right, yeah, that sucks.
Also, indoctrination says
Wait.
-1d on engagement rolls until you have something to everybody in indoctrination. All identified and
Wait,
overseas.
then we just broke it because that puts us at -2 dice, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
It does.
We're absolutely at 0d.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. Are there other elements that you want to consider due to circumstances or events in your world? I'm gonna give you +1 die for a thing that is true about Ruth, that Ruth will not know until the engagement begins.
That
So
is
you're-
disgusting.
I will note one thing that may not apply here, but just a reminder that Nina does have worth saving. My allies roll +1d when they protect me from consequences. That's it. Just noting. Not applicable just yet, I think, but
Yes, not applicable just yet. Although it would have also been applicable before, but that is still going well. Right, so Ruth, I would like you to roll 2d6 for me, and we will take the lesser of those results.
This will be bad because we all saw what happened the last time we rolled 2d6.
I have faith in you.
We're gonna get a lot of XP.
2d6. That's a 1 and a 3.
Okay, cool, fun. So that means that you will be in a desperate position when the action starts. That's gonna be delightful. This is let's engage in some dream logic for a moment. So all of you prepare to, in weird dream logic fashion, swing on this invisible wall that only one of you knows is the outside of a hole. In the hopes that you can break it as if it were like a well or something like that. As you do that, who's holding the cinder block? And who's holding the machete?
I think Cat has the machete because Cat's job actively discourages her from having upper body muscles, and she probably can't lift the cinder block for more than a couple minutes at a time.
Okay, noted. Okay, so, Vic, moments before you bring your hand down to the edge of this wall, you feel the upper half of the brick suddenly become very, very large. It doesn't become heavier for you, but it suddenly becomes like, anime level, distorted proportions. Similarly, Cat, you, raise the machete over your head, and it suddenly becomes like 4 times bigger. And you both, like, slam them against the wall of this thing. And there's this bright spark in this room, as if, like, as if a light bulb had broken very, like, catastrophically right in front of you. Ruth, you try to punch the wall. You hit it just after everyone else does, and you don't feel anything very suddenly. The light still happens. Everyone is now briefly in a daze. When the light disappears, you are no longer in this room. Nina, you immediately notice all of you don't know where this place is, where you presently are, but Nina, you are presently aware that you're not even in the Mirador anymore, let alone in any room in that workspace anymore. Ruth, I would like you to give me a perceive roll.
Oh boy!
Risky standard.
Risky standard. Okay, no dice in that still. Rolling 2d6. That's a 4 and a 5.
Ooh, nice. You notice some things. This room is kind of dark. It looks like a nightclub or something. A dimly lit nightclub. Um, it looks... It doesn't look modern. It looks like it has a kind of vintage vibe to it. You are... Like, you are aware that this space is full. Like, there are people seated at tables. You all kind of emerge, like, right at the door of this space, as if you had just kind of stumbled into this space. As you, like, try to get a sense of who is present, you realize that humans aren't sitting at those tables. They look more like large toy soldiers. And they're all wearing like this like weird gray what looks to be a military uniform. And ahead of them on stage, like on the like performance stage of this club setting, you see a man and 3 other toy soldiers standing on stage. All of them are also wearing those uniforms. You can hear some of the other toy soldiers like hollering and cheering as that quartet of people on stage are singing. And that's when you notice that the non-toy soldier on stage is Dice.
Ruth is so mad right now.
Like, they're singing Sam Cooke's Chain Gang with great gusto, and the audience is like cheering very loudly for them.
Oh god.
And
Is there an exit?
you look behind you. There is a door to this space. You know how in the Dark Souls games you have to traverse the mist in order to enter a boss area, and then that mist is behind you, and you can never leave that room again.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like at that door now.
Well, Ruth doesn't play video games, so he's gonna try and open the door and leave because he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, you open the door and you just see like this pillar of black smoke right in front of you.
I can't go through it.
You know that you... Yeah, you know from experience that you cannot walk through that. Like, you will actually take physical damage that will be visible in the real world on your person if you attempted to brute force that smoke. You cannot leave this room. But yeah, you are now in this space. Everybody is like very eagerly cheering. And then as the song stops, you see Dice take the microphone off of its stand. It's one of those like old school broadcaster mics, and he just kind of unscrews it off of the mic stand, and starts walking into the crowd and goes, thank you very much. I'm so excited to be in a space with my peers. I've been struggling to find something that makes me feel the discipline for so long that I'm so grateful now that the Eye has given me this newfound purpose, this journey to ensure that the people who don't know what they're supposed to be doing learn the right way to live in this city. In fact, there's one of our neighbors literally supposed to be stewing in a dream nearby. I'm gonna check on her in a bit, surely. But I just figured I just wanted to let off some steam with y'all. So thanks for being my friends, everyone. And everybody starts cheering. Cat, I'm gonna give you this one for free for if only because you are accustomed to spaces like this. And because you already have seen the eye several times. You notice that all of the staff in this establishment are not toy soldiers. They're other human figures. But that's when you also notice that every one of them has a tattoo of that fractal eye symbol on their right eye. And some of them seem like very severely injured. Like you see a waiter that looks like one of his arms are broken. You see like another waiter elsewhere has a bandage on their forehead. And all of them look like they are not happy to be here. They look like they look very listless. As if like their very souls have been removed from their bodies. But they have been like diligently serving in this space. Like you can see every once in a while the glimmer of a waiter or a bartender, like obviously pretending to be happy to work in this space, only to just like return to being dejected the moment somebody is not looking at them. And that's when you kind of notice that there's this vague kind of spotlight emanating from the eyes of all of those toy soldiers. And everybody is only perking up when they feel that spotlight on them. And Dice continues, so yes, I should let you all get back to your work. We have a lot of work to do to clean up Port Cloud. Thank you so very much again. And the next words that Dice says are suddenly overcome with static in that moment. But they continue immediately afterward, for giving me the opportunity to be able to be a part of this process, to be a part of the healing of this city. And yeah, everybody back to your stations. Let's do this. Let's do this, guys. And everybody gets up, and suddenly you hear like a ticking noise in like the background of the room. Vic, I would like you to give me in fact, no, yeah, you still have watchful, don't you? Yeah, give me a fortune roll with as many dots that you have in perceive.
Okay, that's going to be 1. That is a 2, unfortunately.
Okay, you are aware that the alarm clock has ticked twice.
Okay.
You are briefly concerned that if you stick around in this space, or at least if you stick around very obviously right at the entrance, one of these toy soldiers is just gonna see you, and that might suck.
Somebody have a move they want to do here?
So I just wanted to clarify the circumstances that we are in. So basically all of us suddenly, after a flash of light, appeared here in this space. And as far as any of us can tell, nobody in the room has picked up that we are here.
Not yet.
We're still hidden, quote unquote.
You're standing by the door and no one has turned around yet, but everyone is about to leave.
Okay.
And the exit is behind you.
Okay. And I want to clarify that Nina is with us and can move of her own volition.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing, because I am playing Ruth, is Dice does not appear to have noticed that Ruth is here.
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Like, he didn't look over in our direction or anything like that?
Not yet.
Okay. So I will say that as he was giving a speech, and then he said that he was going to check on somebody, i.e. Nina, in the next room, Ruth had not turned around for all of that. He was just holding the door to the outside, just like visibly turning into a vortex of anger that he couldn't leave. And then the moment Dice said that, i.e. making himself culpable for everything that is going on right now, he just very slowly, very calmly closes the door and turns around. And if Vic notices, Ruth is looking kind of genuinely murderous in that very cold, like, blank-faced, I'm not angry anymore, I'm just here to kill you, kind of, like, way. But when it becomes apparent that everybody is going to start turning around, Ruth kind of jerks his head at Nina, because obviously she is the one who's being targeted here for some reason or another, and we should probably move.
Okay. Yeah, moving sounds great.
Okay. A thing that you all know as Dream Knights is that one of the ways that you can manipulate space to your benefit is attempting to travel from one space to the other with either Conceal or Defy. So that you can either change your own state of perceptibility when you enter that new space, or choose the space that you want to enter, therefore making it more difficult for people to suddenly insist that they want to follow you, because once that door closes behind you, you are now somewhere else. But you also know that it stands to reason that you are in this dream for a very good reason, and that you should probably do some investigation as well.
I think out of all of us, Vic has the most knowledge of what the actual layout of the dream is, because you've got to move around and actually see where everything is. The rest of us only know about the previous room and then this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will say actually, that Vic, you know that this room was not any of the rooms that you previously saw, and doesn't share any of its dimensions. But because you know that it is connected via, like, dream corridor logic, you know not only that it is physically possible for you to just re-enter that office space, but that if you attempt to navigate this space given the information that you already know, even if you enter a room that does not obey the dimensions of the rooms that you have already observed, you will be able to interact with those rooms as if they do.
If we're gonna go, we should go now. But if we stay, we can get information out of this jackass.
Ruth just says, can we not stay? Because he does not want the rest of the group to meet Dice and realize the connection between the two this way. He's just like, God, no. This is the last thing that he wants right now.
Hey. I would like someone... Okay. This is how I'll phrase that. At this point, everyone is preparing to leave. If you don't make a decision now, someone is going to turn around and see you all. It is probably worthwhile to make a group conceal roll in this moment, at least for the process through which you attempt to navigate leaving this room before you enter the next one. Who would like to lead that?
I do have 1 point in conceal. Am I the only person who has a point in conceal?
I also have a dot in it. A dot. A single solitary dot, because we are all so small and squishy.
We are so squishy.
Uh-huh.
Would flow also work for getting out?
Flow mechanically Flow is funny. I like the idea of using flow as a kind of, you know how in movies when people move against the current of a large crowd and suddenly that is all of the energy they need for everyone in that crowd to not know that they were there in the first place. You can do that if you wanted to get further upstage. If you wanted to leave through any of the other available doors, there are 2 doors to your left-hand side, right by the entrance to this space. One of which may be a coat closet. One of the others may be like a staff room, or even one of the kitchen entrances. And there are 2 bathroom doors to the right-hand side that you will need to get closer to the stage to access in the first place. So if you wanted to use those, you'd have to flow through as well, or conceal. But you can flow, yes. You can lead a flow action.
So my pitch is that Vic does some unwise guardian shit and says, "You go, I'll hold him off."
You do realize this means Ruth is going to stay with you, right?
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, with
Um,
Nina,
Cat-
unfortunately.
And Vic,
Cat takes Nina's arm and is like tugging, like, you heard him, let's go.
and Vic steps forward and starts singing, basically like an EDM version of Bread and Roses, and triggers their transformation sequence.
Oh my god. Okay. So please describe for the people. Please describe for the lovely listeners. What does your transformation sequence look like, and what do you look like when you are fully transformed?
So normally in dreaming, Vic wears like black leather jacket, biker jacket with like black leather boots and a belt, and like a bright colorful floral like skater dress. And when transforming, Vic's jacket is covered by lavender blooms, which stretch and wrap around their body, turning into bronze armor, gauntlets, greaves, boots, pauldrons, and a helm. Their hair goes out the back. Their dress billows and folds and stretches into purple robes, a la like classical Greece or Rome. Sword and shield form from those flower blooms into metallic bronze. As a joyful protest song kind of plays. Like normally it's like plays from somewhere, but here Vic is singing. And having transformed into their avatar Deed, I'm going to use Express to flash back to having basically done acts of kindness to as many of the basically worker drones as I can, using our series move that lets us do flashbacks with transcendent ability.
Oh Lord, I love all of this so much. Okay.
Well, I want to use Express to basically show them kindness and love.
Mm-hmm. How many dots do you have in Express?
2.
Right. I would like you to give me an Express roll. Your position is it risky?
Are we still desperate?
Nah, you're not desperate anymore. But I think you're... Nah, yeah, you're controlled. You are controlled great.
Okay. And so my avatar's virtue is clever, and desires are adoration and overthrow. Do we think any of those apply here?
There is...
We do have an entire mass here that could be turned to the deedism.
Yeah. I do think, like, a lot of this energy is very obviously there is obviously authority in this space, and I want to stand against that authority, just for standing against authority's sake. But also, a lot of that grandstanding is just Deed going, I am the coolest guy, I'm the coolest person in this room. So I think both of those things, I think both of those are definitely invoked in this moment.
Yeah. So if desires are, if it aligns with desires, this action does not deplete transcendence. And if it aligns with clever, I clear 1 stress.
Okay, well, right, you are very fortunate that it aligns with desire, with both of your desires. God damn. So yes, please give me.
So the shot is Vic doing these things for like just people in the neighborhood, like in the city, in their life. But as we see it here, Deed is in reflective surfaces in each shot to express that using dream logic, Deed was there empowering Vic's action, which we now know has happened previously.
It's very Madoka after firing the bow in the finale energy. I love it a lot. So yes, please give me your express roll.
This was, controlled great.
Yeah, controlled great.
And how much stress does this flashback cost?
2 stress, yeah.
Okay. Then I will not push, because then I would have to immediately test for Eclipse.
Oh god.
Cool. So I'm gonna do that. On dice. I did a lot of setup. That's a 5. I'll take it.
Nice, cool. You are the only person who sees what that site looks like. In this room, mind you, there is this digital, kind of pixelated war banner that just flutters behind Deed's head as they start singing. In the separate but attached dreamscapes of all of the staff in this room, they have this minor moment when this person that they do not know just comes up to them during their normal work day, in their normal work experience, and just gives them a moment of genuine kindness or calm that alleviates some of the pressure that they've been holding in this moment. And in the room around you, the rest of you notice that all of their wounds begin to heal. All of their injuries start totally fading away. The eye tattoos on their face are still there, but they seem a lot more calm and relaxed. They don't seem like they're being forced into this thing anymore. They seem like they have a greater control of their body now. And you notice that a couple of them are now beginning to become very slowly aware of where they are and are mildly confused by that. But you can sense, just looking at them, you can sense that they're just as they try to make sense of it, that understanding fades away and they go right back to being confused over and over and over again. But yeah, that happens.
What's the consequence from the mixed result?
I mean, the obvious consequence is you have gotten the attention of everybody in this room now.
I mean, if that's a consequence, cool, that's what I was wanting.
Okay, cool, you wanted to fight 12 people? Alright. Oh god. Cool. Ruth, where are you?
Ruth came out here to have a good time, and they are honestly feeling so attacked right now.
Okay, cool. I thought you were going to say that the other way around.
He didn't come here to fight people once Dice showed up, because it's I can't believe this guy has to fuck me off in my dreams too. This is disgusting. I want to leave immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately what Ruth ends up doing is going to depend on what happens to Vic, because Ruth's promise to Vic is the safety I create will be greater than yours. and they are not really interpreting anything of what Vic just did as creating safety, because now we just have gotten all the attention when we did not want any attention. So,
Yeah. Sometimes attention is exactly what you do want. So...
It's not what Ruth wanted.
Fair enough. So... Vic, you're gonna get in a fight. I would first like you to roll for what you're going to do to the people who are now approaching you before I decide what they're gonna do to you. Let's see how many of them you take out.
So are these the toy soldiers or the workers?
These are the toy soldiers. They were already out of their chairs preparing to move, but they are now like all on their feet looking right at you.
Okay.
And you're not supposed to be here.
So Deed, like seeing the toy soldiers coming, is going to kind of very nimbly, like basically Dex fighter style, be dodging around them and using her sword to rip the wind-up key out of each of them.
I see.
And this will
Okay.
be with Defy.
Defy will be good. All right. I have a poisoned promise for you.
Yeah, what's up?
There is a minor chance, depending on how this goes, that the result of this action will lead to the alarm, the clock for that dream alarm becoming full. Like the last 2 ticks will essentially mean that this room will potentially be swarming with more agents of the dream.
Okay. I feel like that's probably on the table already, so I'm not going to take that. And I will just go with my 1D.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Transcended, Defy. I'm going for Clever. If that feels.
Oh yeah, this is definitely clever.
Okay.
So you will clear 1 stress.
Yeah. And let's see. I think I want to spend my link with Cat, because this is about protecting other people in the group, to give me +1D.
Okay.
So this is risky.
Right. The actual combat will be risky standard. You know how to fight, but dreams are volatile things.
That's a 6.
God damn it. Okay, cool.
It's the Guardian. I'm doing the thing.
Yeah, you are like whipping through this crowd. You are like almost dancing through them, just like gently. The ones that you don't like take out the motors for, or like just pull out the keys for, you actually just slice in half, like just like the ones that you are not being patient with are just absolutely destroyed. The first two of the 6 that you immediately defeat were actually going to grab Nina and like flee. But you managed to defeat them before they can even like get close enough. But now there is a large space between you and the rest of the Dream Knights, and 6 more toy soldiers and dice are like immediately right next to you.
And Deed, whose voice is much harsher than Vic's, says to the others, "Fly away, little knights. I will handle them."
How do you all feel about I mean, this is the first time after, like, y'all have not been in a mission in quite a while and haven't met Deed in like several days. How does this feel?
So Nina has two things that are gonna inform what is about to happen.
Oh ho, what's this?
One is that, so we all have promises to the other characters, and Nina's promise to Vic is, I will help Vic remember that self-sacrifice isn't inevitable.
Okay.
And one of Nina's abilities is worth saving when you run foolishly into danger and no one comes to help. Mark experience. Your allies roll +1d when they protect you from consequences. So either I'm going to run into help and get some experience, or somebody's going to protect me from consequences. But I'm definitely going to try to run in to protect Vic from something. Whatever Nina sees, like someone's trying to sneak up behind them, or like, you know, they're going to get attacked by multiple people, and so Nina runs up to one of them or something. Nina's gonna run in.
Okay, cool. So, here's what happens. 2 deeds left, just behind them. One of those toy soldiers just so happens to be holding a bayonet and is charging very eagerly towards them. You happen to see that just in time to respond. But it means that you have to rush over there and figure out what you're going to do when you, like, collide with this person. So I would like you to give me a roll for fighting this toy soldier.
Yeah, were there like things on the tables? Things were getting served? Like, are there cups, plates?
Yeah, there are like champagne and white wine glasses. There are plates. There are knives. You are now noticing, like, now that this is a thing that is occurred to you to look for, I'm gonna give this to you for free. The steak knives in this dream institution are far larger than you need to cut one goddamn steak. They look like wakizashi size. They're like unnecessarily tall and jagged. And you can just take one of these knives if you want.
I feel like, so again, Nina's not good at any of this. So Nina is instead gonna grab a plate and throw it at the person while yelling, leave them alone.
I love how everything is just turning into a disaster. This is great.
Okay, I would like you to give me a defy roll.
Once again, no dots in defy, so this is gonna be awesome.
Okay.
Unless you want me to roll empathize because I asked why they were doing this. But anyway,
no, it's defy.
Oh, yeah.
Do I have a poison promise for you? Poison promise for you?
I'm listening.
I theoretically have an avatar-related poisoned promise for you.
Oh my.
Being in the dream, your avatar is like far more powerful and far more engaged than you are. And because your avatars are like not so much you as a separate distinct entity connected to you spiritually, they often very often want to no longer be in your body. Like, try to like briefly take control whenever possible. What are your avatar's desires?
I don't have an avatar yet. I can't transcend.
Oh ho, that's gonna be delightful. Cool. Depending on how this goes, you're gonna learn something about your avatar this evening, and you mightn't like what you learn. Cool. So please give me a defy roll.
Okay, here we go.
Risky. Limited.
Okay. 5 and a 6 actually, so I got a 5.
Okay, nice, cool. You throw this plate. So, in the real world, you know what a plate is supposed to do against a human head. It should just, like, hit them very hard. Maybe it might break. Most likely it might not. Instead, this ceramic plate that you throw at this toy soldier hits him so hard in his plastic head that both the plate and his head start, like, cracking and shatter. You have defeated this one toy soldier. Vic, out of the corner of your eye, you see a toy soldier armed with a bayonet just lean over to the side and fall over dead. As you are still engaged with the other 5. And I would like you to give me a resistance roll with Sun.
I would like to note the negative consequence from rolling only a 5 is that Nina is stunned by her success and is literally frozen in place, unable to do anything else but observe the situation.
Brandon, who's that resistance roll for?
Vic. Well,
Okay.
Deed.
Cool. I have things about resistance.
Oh, do you?
Does this count as protecting an ally?
It does. You're still engaged with these enemies specifically to protect your friends.
Okay. So I'm going to be rolling 3d6. Oh, that's not.
All right.
Ooh, well, here's another ability that I have. Indomitable. When transcendent, suffer a max of 2 stress when resisting consequences.
Okay.
So I rolled 3, 1, 2. I will take 2 stress.
Okay.
I'm at 8 of 9.
Oh, nice. Duly noted. Oh my god. Okay. You are briefly overwhelmed by these 5 toy soldiers, and as a result of not gaining further ground with them, you notice this kind of like faintly, because you're still focusing on all of these combatants. So you hear someone speak, but you don't really register what they say. Ruth, as you are like figuring out your next move, Dice turns from Deed to you and goes,
Of course he does.
Ruth? Are you here for a rematch, or did you actually listen to my plea?
Ruth stalks forward without saying anything, but very much kind of braced for all the terrible things that are going to come. And looking Dice in the face says, call them off.
Why should I do that?
Because if you don't, I'll kick your fucking ass.
Dice, like, very idly unbuttons one button from the shirt of his uniform and goes, did it ever occur to you that that's exactly what I want?
Ruth looks at him with eyes like chips of dead ice and says, disgusting.
So, Dice takes a step forward, and you don't really notice it, but because this is the dream, these things just kind of happen. Dice is right in front of you far sooner than is like typical of the real world. Is standing like just a couple of feet away from you, like has walked clean past Deed without Deed even noticing that they stepped past. And Dice is just a little bit taller than you. Well, quite a bit taller than you, actually.
Yeah, in real life, he's quite a bit taller than Ruth is, but I would like to say that because it's dream logic and Ruth has a lot of anger charisma, more anger charisma in dream than in real life, even though they're very much not matched in height, they're matched in glaring at each other. Like, from Ruth's perspective, they're the same height.
Yeah. Let's leaning into this dream logic very intensely. I love it a lot. And so Dice gets right, like, as close to you as possible without being within literal arm's reach. And you see Dice smirk as they go, "You're cute when you're angry, you know that?"
Ruth hits him. Like, Ruth punches him. Immediately. Immediate punching.
Give me a roll for that.
He's trying to punch right through his head.
Please give me a roll for that.
Is that...
That's most likely Defy.
Defy, okay. What is my position and what is my effect?
You are not transcended yet, so your position is desperate, but your effect is standard, because you're angry.
Okay, again... I have the quality Reckless when I'm not transcended, and also when I'm transcended, but it's just my ability. When you make a desperate roll, you may choose to get plus 1d for the roll if you also take minus 1d to any resistance rolls against consequences from your action.
I know.
Ruth is going to do that. I don't want to do that because my stress is very high right now, but Ruth would do that.
Yeah?
Also because I've been rolling so badly.
Okay, cool. So please give me Desperate Standard Defy.
So I have 2 points in Defy, and with the plus 1d, that's 3d6. Please, one of them don't suck.
Crit. No crits.
That's a 3, a 5, and a 2.
Okay, cool. You hit him. You hit him square in the temple. They are briefly, like, very confused. Like, you know when you knock the sense out of someone? Dice is, like, thrown for a moment. And then straightens up. Turns back to you. And is grinning. A part of you forgot that Dice likes getting in fights.
I mean, Ruth remembers that always, but there's a part of you that always thinks maybe he'll change his mind when I kill him, but...
So Dice is now going to charge towards you, and I would like you to resist. This would probably be Sun, no? If I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
But... even though you're supposed to get -1 for as a result of Reckless, you're gonna roll your total amount of dice because you have gained plus 1d for dazing dice.
Okay, so that's I have 2 traits taken in Sun, so that is 2 dice for resistance, correct?
Yes.
Can I give an extra die? With the social link?
I'm pretty sure those work for resistances as well. So yeah, you can.
Okay, then Nina's just gonna yell, kick his ass.
Oh. Yes, under spend links on allies, it says grant plus 1d to allies' action. So, I suppose if you class a resistance...
Yeah, is this an action?
Then...
Mechanically, resistances are not actions.
Never mind that.
But I'm inclined to say that this should still obviously make sense. At least narratively, I'm going for it. Spend the social link, take the plus 1d.
Okay, so that is now 3d6 for the resistance, correct? Because I have 2 for my traits and then 1 for the social link with Nina.
Can we stack social links? Because I have one I am willing to spend on this.
I think you can.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and spend that social link, reducing my links with Ruth from 1 to 0.
Okay, so that's 4 now. Okay,
I really hope I get a good number out of this, because if they all turn out
How much-
Law of
I will
averages.
feel so bad.
Law
How
of
much-
averages.
how much stress do you have? How much stress do you have?
I have, back to my sheet, I have 6 out of 9 currently.
Okay, so you just need to roll 4 or greater as your highest roll.
Here we go, rolling 1, 4d6. Oh, that's a 1, a 3, a 6, and a 3.
Nice.
Nice, cool. So you get no stress. Dice charges towards you, and you manage to not only like get out of the way just in time for them to not like grab you by the waist and therefore have you in any number of potentially dangerous positions. But if you wanted to immediately react with another defiant attack, you can do that right now.
Yep, so that is 2d6 made 3 with the reckless. And is it the same position as before, desperate, limited?
Now it is controlled standard.
Okay. So let's roll 3d6. Oh,
Jesus.
that's a 6, a 6, and a 2.
Jesus.
Hatred comes through for me. Don't be like Ruth, kids. Don't hold hate in your heart.
Oh,
it will
God.
bottle up and then you will explode for someone
What?
else's amusement. Don't do
What
it.
are you doing to this poor person's entire body? Like, I imagine that you are within the grabbing range to literally like do any number of very devastating wrestling moves to this person. You could put Dice to sleep if you wanted. Well, not that much, but still. So yeah, what are you doing?
To the answer, is this Ruth's first anger crit? Yes, hopefully the first of many anger crits.
Yeah? In the Sinded Seal, it was stress.
It was panic.
Yes, I love this. I love this a lot. Please.
Yes, Ruth is basically trying to. Guy just ran past him. I just want to break open his head. To the best of my ability, it's a dream. He probably won't actually die. I might just give him hangover feelings when he wakes up. But I'm gonna try and break open his head.
Okay. How exactly do you plan to break open his head?
I like to think that as Dice went by, Ruth grabs him by whatever ridiculous, stupid outfit he is wearing, because it's Dice, so obviously it's a ridiculous, stupid outfit, and just hurls the whole of that momentum into, like, slam dunking him headfirst into the floor. And then, if he has enough continuous momentum, just slamming his head down into the floor again.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so... Dice rushes past you, and you take that his additional momentum and your additional momentum to grab Dice by the waist and suplex him. This is a dream. This space is moving almost entirely on psycho-emotional energy in this moment. And when you do that, you break the floor. The floor is no longer like hard stone and tile, but like it shatters like glass beneath you both and you start falling. No one else is falling with you.
I'm just imagining, like the gingerbread man cutout, except his Dice's body.
Yeah. So both of y'all are tumbling in like this, what looks like a full night sky, like just constantly falling. And in this moment, I would like you to give me a perceive roll. A perceive or empathize roll.
I have no dots in either of those things, so that's good.
Okay. One of those would actually be better than the other, but I want to know which one you want to do.
I suppose what is the context for the action that is being requested of me? So if it's perceive as in, oh, I'm trying to figure out the space around me, then it would be perceive, obviously. But if what the stage manager is asking for the narrative to go is Ruth to perceive something about dice, then
yes.
maybe...
Okay. You're about to perceive something about the space that you've just entered that is also perceiving information about dice. So empathize would be actually very useful in this moment.
Okay. Given that Ruth is currently trying his level best to kill somebody in dream space, I don't think he's really in the mood to empathize with anybody, except maybe Nina. Weirdly enough, his main concern right now is Nina, because Cat's seen him be violent before in real life in order to keep sex pests out, but Nina's never actually seen him really be violent ever, so he's kind of worried about her. In a very weird, distant, dissociated kind of way, so I will say perceive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your position is risky, and your effect is limited.
Okay, so 2d6 and the lower of the two. That is a 2 and a 2.
Okay. As you are like rushing downward into this space, you notice Dice turns to you as if wanting to grab you and retaliate, but sees something like off in the distance away from you, like as if they're looking clean past you. So they like stop and like just like continue free falling right next to you. It looks like they're standing straight as they are falling beside you, but they refuse to touch you as they're looking at this thing off in the distance away from you. But you have no idea what it is, and are you inclined in this moment to discover what?
Yeah, if he's looking, then okay. Because Ruth knows that he would ordinarily try to retaliate, so to see him break character like that is very weird, so Ruth would look.
Okay. I would like you to give me another perceive roll.
Is it the same as before, Desperate Limited?
Desperate Standard now. Well, Risky Standard now.
Okay, Risky Standard. Again, still no points in it, so rolling 2d6, lower of 2. That's a 3 and a 3. We're getting better, but not good.
Cool. You notice at the, like, edge of the space in which you are falling that you can see things around you. They're not falling with you. They're just in the space. It's like they look like windows into rooms, but you can tell, like, when you look into some of them that they're not rooms, that some of those spaces are outdoors, that some of them are in spaces that when you take a closer look at them don't have windows or would not perceivably have windows. And in 2 of them you see what looks like, because you can't really tell because they seem very far away and you're struggling to perceive what they are as you continue falling. but in two of them it looks like Dice is in the local hospital, not in a hospital bed, but sitting near a hospital bed for someone that you do not recognize. In one of those visions, you don't really get a sense of like how, like why they're in the hospital, what potential level of injury they've sustained. In another, you see like that most of this person's body is wrapped in gauze, and they seem to be presently on at least minimal life support. And you get the vague impression, even though you can very barely see it, that Dice is very upset in this moment by seeing this person in this state. Then you see a vision of an empty table, an empty wooden table. Do you wait?
Just a table?
Just a table. It spends a long time just being an empty table. Do you keep focusing on it?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. You keep focusing on it and it still looks like an empty table, and then you see 5 stacks of a lot of money suddenly slide across the table. What would you like to focus on now?
So a curious thing about Ruth that Dice doesn't know, and probably I think the others of the Dreamites would know just from Ruth mentioning it / overhearing his coworkers talk about it, is that Ruth, prior to becoming a barista at Missouri and Rose's, was actually training to be an ICU nurse. So seeing somebody in a hospital wrapped in gauze, that immediately pulls his attention for professional reasons, even if he's not in that profession anymore. He went into it for obviously personal causes, and yeah, so he would still be looking at the other thing because, you know, Port Cloud really sucks, and the hospitals are expensive, and there are many, many reasons why somebody would get into terrible circumstances to afford medical care, but he would want to look at the first scene more, just to be like, from the equipment, is this from a while ago? Is this more recent? Is this the burns unit? Is it the ICU? Is it the ER? Basically trying to get whatever information he can from that.
Mm-hmm. Give me a 1 die fortune roll.
1 die. That's a 6.
Nice.
Professional crit!
You are about to see 2 things. Well, 3 things. One, when you like turn to reorient yourself in this free fall in order to like rediscover that first scene, you have to turn your head back towards Dice in order to find it again. And when you look at Dice is crying.
Oh no.
Like somewhere between sobbing and a single man tear. Like it is very obvious that Dice is trying to be restrained in this moment. And you get the vague impression that they're doing it for you, and not because they're trying to resist their emotions in general. And when you see that image again, you can make out that it is in fact the intensive care unit. And you can make out very faintly that Dice is speaking to this person about the fact that they will figure out what they need to do in order to continue paying for them to get the care that they need at the hospital. As you turn, you suddenly like gain a little bit too much momentum, and you turn just away from it to another scene, which is Dice's first cage match. Dice doesn't know how to fight at this point. Is motivated by a lot of anger and a lot of eagerness, but doesn't know how to throw a punch. Wins that fight mostly by sheer luck.
Something in common. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And makes a couple thousand credits for that, like $4,000 or $5,000. And you see in that extended vision, he doesn't seem pleased by that. You don't know whether it's he doesn't seem like he enjoys fighting, or that $5,000 is not enough for whatever is happening to his friend. So he puts it away. Rubs his hair in frustration and walks away. And then, as you keep turning, the rest of the space around you is just surrounded by visions of those fights. Some fights with you, some fights with other people. You get to see like what is essentially like a kind of cascading vision of Dice becoming angrier and angrier, but also more of a show-off, kind of like slowly learning to love punching people in the face. And then you see the table again, but now you are seeing a wider view of the room that table is in. And you hear a voice in that space. You can't see anybody in that vision, but you hear a voice in that space go, that you definitely recognize to be Dice's, go, I just want this to be over. Sarah doesn't deserve this. Whatever it is you need me to do, so long as you're paying for her care, I'm cool with it. And then you see the money slide across the table again, and then you hear a voice that you consider very vaguely familiar. Maybe you've seen it on TV or something. Maybe you've heard it in a news report, or like maybe it's the voice of somebody who's been at the shop. Say, all we need from you now is that whenever we give you a call, you will answer it. Surely you can do that for us. And you hear Dice say, yeah, I can do that. You don't need me to commit any crimes, do you? And the voice says, I doubt that would bother you if it were the case, but it's not. In fact, we're hoping to change Cloud Harbor for the better. Are you prepared to help us do that? As you continue spinning in this free fall, you notice that Dice's uniform is now glitching out between its gray, typical Prussian uniform style and the exact same cut of uniform, but now black with spiked epaulets. I would like you to give me a 2-die fortune roll.
2 die, okay. Rolling 2 die, 2d6. I'd say 4 and a 4. We are getting better. First 2, now 3, now 4.
I feel like Roll20 is doing something to you. I feel like Roll20 is trolling you. I'm very sorry.
It was trolling me in my last session with another group. I was rolling the lowest for the entire thing, so...
Okay.
I think it's carried over.
You did get an anger crit.
I did get an anger crit, and I am suspicious.
Okay, so right. So Dice starts shouting. Not at you, just in this space. She's like, ah! And like reaches out towards you as if to grab you by your neck. You slip right, like, not from your own will, but just the momentum of continuing to fall just happens to have you slide out of grasping range. And just at the moment when their hand would have been wrapped around your neck, both of you feel your feet firmly planted against the ground again, and you are now in the club again. Mike, I would just like you to give me one 1d fortune roll.
Okay. 2.
Cool. You have defeated 2 of the other toy soldiers and are now just dealing with 3, and they seem to be struggling to keep up with you for the most part, but you're kind of running out of steam at this moment. You could kind of use some support. Nina, where are you? While Vic is still like fending off 3 soldiers by themselves.
Did I see Ruth go through the floor?
Give me a 1d fortune roll to see if you were paying attention at that moment in time.
Okay. I rolled a 1, so that's a no.
Yeah.
I was so scared you would jump down after me. I was like, please don't do that.
While Vic was fighting and you were focusing on Vic, Dice and Ruth just kind of disappeared. And while that fight was still ongoing, Dice and Ruth just kind of reappeared again.
Yeah, I feel like I would still just be trying to, like, throw plates at people at best. Yeah. So probably dodging around a table, trying to not get hit by soldiers is probably what Nina's doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cat, where are you while all this is happening?
Cat unfortunately made a promise to keep Vic alive. So she has one of the stupid big steak knives, which she is wielding two-handed. Because Cat doesn't know how to do this.
Okay.
But she is trying her best to get some of these guys off deed.
Okay. I would like you to give me a defy roll. Your position is risky. Your effect is limited.
I would like to use Ruth's social link with Nina. I mean, not Nina, with Kat to give +1d, and I think we can frame it as, like, if we're going to do a flashback, Ruth, after having visited Somnia with Henrietta at one point, just giving like a little quick montage of all these like little visits stitched together of Ruth just like telling Kat like, okay, so these are the basics of how to like get out of someone's grasp, or how to dodge around them, or at least how to put your feet to justify the +1d.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and
that
my
gives
number
me...
of links with Kat will now be 0.
Okay.
So that earns me a total of 2d6 all told, and we are rolling a 3 and a 1.
Okay. God, this is not ideal.
Wait, were you trying to protect Vic? Yeah, Vic, not Nina. Okay, never mind. Because I was gonna say, if you're trying to protect Nina, you could get an extra die out of that, but nope.
Nope.
You charge towards one of those toy soldiers, and it trips you. You fall to the ground. You are now presently prone with this knife in your hand. You haven't cut yourself, but you are now on the floor. Not particularly immediately doing a thing.
Are they still paying attention to me?
The one toy soldier that tripped you seems to have, like, immediately discarded you. Like, it has this look on its face like, oh, you weren't a threat at all. Let's move on to the threat. And has now converted its attention back to Deed.
Whose ankles are in slash range?
The same one that tripped you.
Let's cut an Achilles tendon.
Okay, yeah, give me... Don't even give me a defy roll for this. Just give me a fortune roll to see if you get to the ankle.
I want to pitch that Cat can use conceal here as like the prowl equivalent.
I mean, yeah, that too.
Do you have
I only have the
Express?
one dot in it.
Uh,
Is this going to be to express my rage? Unfortunately, I don't have any dots in express. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, just
I thought maybe you did.
just give me a 1d6 fortune roll, just to see if you get to the ankle. 3.
That's a 3.
Just barely missed. Like you just a hair's breadth out of range of this ankle already. Which makes you even more upset that this person has this toy soldier has discarded you as a threat. While all of that is happening, Ruth. Dice is standing in front of you. This black military uniform. You notice idly that Dice has spiked knuckles on both hands, but has not formed fists. And Dice is still crying and looking directly at you, going, I didn't want you to know any of that. This is none of your business. Just let me get back to work and you can... I was just supposed to ask you if you wanted to be a part of this process. You obviously don't. Just let me get back to what I'm supposed to do, okay?
Ruth says, Can you just tell everyone to stop, please? Because there's a lot happening and we need to talk.
I can't do that. I made a deal. You can leave. You can take your 2 friends with you too, but Miss Lopez stays. I'm sorry. Just let me do this, please. When you wake up, you're not even gonna remember that this happened. I don't even know why you're here. Please just...
Ruth says, because Miss Lopez is my Sarah.
Do you have any dots in either empathize or express?
I have 1 dot in express.
I would like you to give me an express roll.
If it's a desperate roll, I'll do the +1 and the -1.
What is your avatar's virtue?
Serene.
What are your avatar's desires?
This is the one that we had the hardest time describing. But mine was compulsion, as in compelling people.
Noted. I would like you to give me an express roll. Your position is risky. Your effect is great.
My effect is great, and I will push myself, and I'll take the 2 stress.
Okay, so you are now at 8 of 9 stress?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to save Nina.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do a better job than Vic, but
Oh lord.
Okay, now do you get a plus 1d because you're trying to protect Nina from consequences, or is this not direct enough of a consequence for that to matter?
This is not direct enough because of the particular emotional engagement that's about to take place. It is not directly attached to Nina in a way that would, I think, mechanically justify that +1. But this is still enough. Let's see how this works.
okay, so that's 2d6 now.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go. That's a 6 and a 1. Our God is awesome God.
Oh
The
lord.
walls are down. They're letting emotions get to each other.
Dice falls to his knees.
Ruth hates that.
And the sound of doing so, like in like dream/movie logic, there is this booming echo in the room that crumbles all of the toy soldiers to dust. It is literally like such like a powerful emotional beat in this moment that Deed can like feel like the surface level awareness of their body kind of like be briefly blown off of Vic's body before like re-acclimating to the space.
Like a flickering flame, double image or after
Yeah.
image.
And the uniform on Dice's body fades first from the black to the gray and then to just like a t-shirt and like jean shorts. And Dice looks up at you, Ruth, and is crying again. And Dice says, why didn't you just let me do what I needed to do? It wasn't going to hurt anybody. They said that we were going to make this city better. I just needed to get some people to keep being part of the system. You know, can't you just... Why does it matter to you? Why are you here?
Ruth stares at him for a very long time. At least it feels like it in dream space. And they just sigh very heavily. And they say, because this way you can stick around and piss me off more.
Dice very briefly chuckles. And then says, I don't get how this is possible. They said no one was going to get in except for... I can't even remember what they called them, but they said no one was supposed to interfere with this dream. I was just supposed to... How did you even find me? How did you know where I was?
I wasn't looking for you. Not that Nina.
Wait. You're you can see Dice is very afraid all of a sudden. And when Dice turns, like, gets up and, like, turns to the right, as if to walk away, suddenly you all experience a jump cut to a space that is no longer in this club. You are now descending a large flight of stairs. You don't know where it came from, because when you look up, you can only see more stairs. You don't know where it's going, because when you look down past where you're walking, you can just see pure darkness. But whenever you walk forward, it's like there is a spotlight that you can't find that is illuminating like the 20 steps ahead of you. And Dice is rushing down the staircase and goes, "All of you have to follow me right now. I'm taking you out of here. Do you even know how to get out of a goddamn dream?"
Ruth is running alongside him, keeping pace even though he's much, much shorter, and huffs very exhaustively at him and says, "If I got in, I can get out."
I mean, these things have gotten more difficult, but I trust you, I guess. You got here after all.
Did you have to say that?
Yes, I did. And I'm gonna say a lot more things that are probably going to annoy you, but they're gonna be true and you're gonna have to deal with that.
Just like the rest of my life.
Vic, while this is happening, I'd like you to give me a perceive roll.
Sure thing. What are the position and effect?
Your position. You are still transcended. Your position is controlled and your effect is standard.
Roll 1d6. That's a 1.
No!
I think
Oh god,
hit
right,
10.
no, you have watchful. Give me one more die.
Okay. Also a 1, unfortunately.
Jesus Christ. You are aware that the alarm clock is full. You haven't heard anything yet. You don't know if anyone has discovered anything yet, but you know that you have probably sounded an alarm upon your escape. You being on the staircase in the first place is a threat.
Brandon, I want to pitch a magic logic thing.
Okay.
Can I use my transcendent armor to resist that clock filling and express it as that Deed always has that music going, which suppresses the alarm finishing?
Yeah. Like, part of that is literally you hear the alarm sound and you go, "Nope," and then it just doesn't sound yet.
Though, like, that's, I want to make sure not to infringe too much on Cat's shtick in terms of like clock stuff, but I do have the transcendent armor.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we'll just want to flavor it differently when Cat is doing time travel or things, so that that can be its own special thing.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it does mean though that you are aware that the potential to be ambushed by agents of the dream is likely. So you feel just a little bit more urgent now. So Dice continues, like rushing down the staircase. I'm gonna get y'all to, like, a mirror that will lead you out of, like, one of the statues in the park, and you'll just, like, do whatever it is y'all were doing before you got here. I don't want to have to deal with this again. Why didn't you tell... I know why you didn't tell me. But now we're in trouble. God. A goddamn dream knight, really?
Don't call me that.
Why not? That's what you are, aren't you?
Don't call me that.
Anyway, and keeps rushing down this staircase. They said it used to be 5. I didn't know. So wait, is this one a dice points to Nina? Is this one of yours as well?
Ruth makes a very, very angry noise. It's very weird. It's like if you tried expelling static from your face. And he says, "They're all mine, all right? Just shut up. Just shut up."
Oh my god. I almost killed your friends tonight.
I know.
I wouldn't if I knew that they were your friends. They just told me I had a job to do.
This is why you suck as a person. Just get us out of here.
Oh my god. I was trying to... And Dice continues on the staircase, is not facing you in this moment as Dice continues. I thought I was doing the right thing. They told me I was making this town better. They told me people just needed to be motivated, that this weird little thing would give people the ability to see their potential, right?
Well, whoever it was, they were obviously lying.
But I was making...
What's the point of you being so tall and ridiculous if you're not even going to use your brain?
God, What have I been doing then? If I wasn't...
I don't know, but you know those boxers you wore tonight? You know those boxers you wore?
Yeah? Why are we...
They're ugly.
Okay, I deserve that. God damn...
Are we there yet?
No, a little more time. Good, we're getting there. Okay, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Do you know what is happening in Port Cloud? There are multiple entire communities of people that do not know who you are but desperately want to destroy you. Do you know that?
That sounds like my regular life.
What the hell? I don't know how you got into this.
Calendrin. I beat the shit out of people with my hands for free and for fun.
You what?
I didn't say any of that, Nina.
You totally did. I heard you. What?
I mean, you literally did just say those words. Those words did literally...
Shut up.
Oh
Calendrin, shush.
Kat just puts her hand on Nina's shoulder and goes, No. I think we need to let them just... If we let them yell long enough, maybe... They're either going to punch each other or kiss each other, and either way, I'm here to see it.
Does Ruth hear that?
She was quiet.
Yeah, you don't hear that. Yeah, you don't hear that.
Farewell, I don't know.
God damn it. Ruth? Whatever it is you're doing, you need to stop doing it if you're gonna live a long life.
What I am doing right now, says Ruth, as he's running along with Dice, is putting up with your bullshit.
Oh my god.
Has Dice recognized Kat yet?
No. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you that. No.
Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
in Clark Kent mode, right?
Yeah?
Yes, because she's not in work mode. I love this.
None of you...
Nina looks exactly the same, but without glasses.
So... You all, again, dream logic, don't notice that you've approached a door until you approach the door. And then Dice swings the door open, and then there is this large, ornate, golden framed mirror in what looks like a small gazebo. And as you all enter it, Dice closes the door behind you all, and goes, "This is gonna take you all to the statue at the park. You know that statue of the guy that everybody hates. I forget his name, even. I stopped thinking.
Columbus. No.
I stopped thinking about that park so often I can't even remember what's in it. Anyway, I don't know how far the rest of y'all are. Ruth, I know that's like a short cab ride away from your apartment. Like, y'all...
You know where I live?
No. I'm gonna ask everybody to do... I'm gonna ask everybody to do me a favor. I need to talk to Ruth alone, please. Can y'all just go ahead, please? Please, this is very important.
Yeah, no, I don't actually think that's the greatest idea ever.
Oh, God.
Oh,
no,
I'm not
leave
saying
me
out
alone
of
with him.
concern for... I'm saying this because I don't want Ruth to kill someone tonight. You know?
We're dreaming. It's fine.
I can take it. Just go, please.
So, like, Deed has been in the background, like wrenching doors shut and, like, throwing shit at, like, enemies that are off screen to not be in this conversation, and then stares right at Dice and says, "Child, the tower of the enemy will not be shattered by a savior from above, but by roots cracking its foundation. Roots fed in the blood of martyrs. But this is not that day."
I don't need a speech from you either.
What on earth is Okay, alright, I've embarrassed myself enough this evening, I'm gonna embarrass myself again.
No, don't do that. Just come with
Dice.
us and you can talk with me in the park.
Dice grabs you by your shoulders, Ruth.
Ruth does not like that. Ruth tries to hurt him.
Hey, getting real handsy with my friend there. I'm not liking this.
You need to listen to me. I'm very sorry about what happened, but I am the very least of the things that you have to deal with in this city, and I can't even... I literally can't even tell you. So I need you to know this. I'm gonna stay here. They're gonna ask me some questions, and I'm gonna pretend that I am exactly the kind of idiot that you know I am. And then we're gonna talk. And there's this brief moment as Dice is just staring right into your eyes.
Oh, gross.
And Dice reads how disgusted you are at that moment and goes, "We're gonna talk about how much trouble you're in." You get this vague sense that Dice might be mildly dejected by that. Because if I don't talk to you about that, something bad's gonna happen.
Ruth reaches down deep into the space that he and Ruthless share and holds onto his composure with both invisible hands and says, "All right, and when we talk, we can talk about Sarah. I know people."
You know? Okay.
I worked
Okay.
at Port Cloud General during the Pixel Arc shootouts. I know people.
Okay. God.
Just be really good at being an idiot and then we can get there, okay?
Do you think that I'm very good at being an idiot?
No, because I don't want to say yes.
Okay.
That means yes!
Okay. And Dice puts his spiked knuckles back on. But instead of his uniform coming on, you see a large wrestling style belt across his waist. That reads, "This is screwed up." And he is now wearing boxes with hearts on them. And he charges back out to the door. The door closes behind him. You can hear dozens of, very painful sounds on the other side. It sounds like dozens of people are getting beat up very eagerly. And there is still the mirror in this room. Do you leave through the mirror?
Is he gonna be okay?
Ruth grits his teeth. And he says, unfortunately, he's gonna be just fine.
Okay. As you all make it through the mirror, you emerge actually in the wrong place entirely. Instead of coming out of the park, you are on River Road, which is the northern main road that runs along the large river to the northwest of Port Cloud. Y'all are all standing in your nightgowns and whatever you were wearing when you were sleeping on an island in the middle of River Road Highway. Y'all accidentally came out of the reflective back of a stop sign and are now suddenly in the middle of the highway, just figuring it out. No one is presently in danger of being run over, but you're now standing on this island, waiting to figure out what happens next.
Ruth starts cussing very, very furiously and punches the back of the stop sign.
The stop sign bends all the way, just becomes this 90-degree angle leaning into the highway, and it tears the side mirror off of a passing truck. And the sound of Ruth cursing is going to be the very last beat of tonight's episode of Fractal Spire. Y'all did the thing! A thing happened, and you engaged with the thing. I'm gonna ask each of you how y'all feel about that, starting with Ruth, of course. You've just engaged with quite a bit.
No, I feel like Ruth has taken up a lot of space in the session already, so we can start with someone else. I just want to say that I'm so happy we got Nina out of the hole. I was so scared.
Mm-hmm. I was definitely gonna ask Nina, how was it? What did that feel like? That dream work experience, and how do you feel about the session that we just had so far?
I think she was just so anxious and worried and confused and trying to figure out what was going on the whole time, because clearly Vic had gotten out, and so why was she still there, and why did it change, and what was even happening? How did she manage to be both trapped in a pit and stuck at work? It was a kind of dream logic that felt slightly unlike dream logic in the usual sense, and I think that tipped off her kind of alarm sensors. And now she's freaked out about Ruth punching people.
Okay, duly noted. Vic, you did a lot of punchy things this evening.
I got to be the most, and it was a lot of fun.
I loved everything that Deed did.
It's
And Deed is so amazing. Holy shit.
It was an interesting scenario to put us in. Okay, we need more information, but there's a lot of them. And so I was like, okay, there's a few ways of doing this. I'm going to pitch a version of this mission that is the like tank and escape, which of course then drew in a bunch of like interconnected promises. But I think it felt really good to basically make the hard move that yanked on those promises to get a bunch of different chain reactions.
Okay. And Kat, you just witnessed a lot.
Kat is going to be very sour about her inability to slice the Achilles tendon on the toy soldier for a while. Because she was like, no, that was probably like the most galaxy brain move that Ruth would have been so proud of me if I'd pulled it off.
Mm-hmm. It would have been choice. I'm actually kind of hurt that you didn't succeed. It would have been very cool. But yes, with all this said, before we close, this is the part where we mention that now a thing happens in the conspiracy. We will be doing most of these things in the background, but I would like to have it be known for the audience that we have now discovered an overseer. So we should put Dice Calandrin's name in an overseer slot, which is marked at tier 2. So that brings you closer to reducing one of the side effects of having discovered no overseers, which is 1+1 effect against the hosts until at least 2 of them have been confronted. So yeah, you're one step closer to discovering more about the conspiracy, and we will solve more of those XP and other things off screen. But until our next session, I would like everybody to please let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you next, starting with Iori.
Kusano Iori, Clarion West class of 2017, they, them pronouns. I have been Kat Hawley, the time traveler today. You can find me at kusanoiori.com, on Twitter at Iori Kusano, that is IORI. There are no L's in my name. And Hybrid Heart will be coming out sometime in 2023 from Neon Hemlock. You've been great, chat. Happy time zone.
Next, Yoi.
Hello and very soon goodbye. Yoi Going Lin, he, they pronouns game and fiction writer. Tonight I have been Vermilion Jingwei Ruth, the outsider who has had to put up with a lot, honestly.
And where can folks find you on the internet?
Oh yes, I have forgotten. You may find me on Twitter at This Is My Design. Design is spelled capital D-A-S-E-I-N. It is a philosophy and Hannibal pun. Always like those.
Next, Valerie.
I am Valerie Valdez, and I have brought you Nina Lopez, the unlikely hero. Not very heroic, but okay at throwing plates, apparently. You can find me online at ValerieValdez.com or at Valerie Valdez on Twitter. And that's Valdez with an S if you're listening and not looking at my name.
Nice. And last but not least, Mike.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael R. Underwood. I have been Vic Sane's The Guardian, also Deed, who is a lot. You can support this show and help us pay our wonderful audio editor, Rudy Basso, by becoming a subscriber at patreon.com/speculate, where you will get behind the scenes bonus materials for Fractal Spire. And you can also get my GM prep for the previous show, Splendor and Shadow, as well as a bunch of other cool stuff. And we would love if you would join that community of subscribers and help us make this very fun show that we love making for all of y'all. I'm an author, podcaster, and publishing professional. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike R. Underwood, and you can watch me stream games and talk about writing at twitch.tv/Turbo Tango. That's me.
Nice. And as for me, I have been your humble stage manager this evening, Brandon O'Brien, pronouns he, him, or they, them. I'm a writer, poet, and game designer from Trinidad and Tobago, and one of the co-hosts of Speculate. So a reminder, again, that your support of Speculate via Patreon, and even just sharing our podcast with other cool people, will do a great deal for us so we can continue making cool stuff for you to enjoy with your eyes or your ears. So please definitely support the Patreon. We would like very much not only to continue ensuring that the wonderful Rudy Basso can continue doing wonderful things to our voices, but that we can possibly do even more Speculate things coming up very soon. And look out definitely on the Patreon for some background Fractal Spire content. I have some very delectable Dreamshine Technologies updates to give you all in the Patreon very, very soon. So definitely look out for that if you want to hear more about creepy Port Cloud Elon Musk. But yes, this has been tonight's session of Fractal Spire. Our next session will obviously be next month, date to be announced, but it will hopefully be very, very soon. But until then, I would like you all to say good night to all of these lovely people in chat. As I press some buttons to briefly disappear and come all the way over here again. Hello. Thank you again so much for joining us for tonight's game of Fractal Spire. I have been planning some of those weirdnesses for quite some time, and I'm very excited by all of the things that have happened. The energy of the game Girl by Moonlight is absolutely delightful to me. And I'm very glad to not only that I get to play it, but I get to play it with all of these lovely people. Of all of the thanks that I would like to give this evening, I would like to open first and foremost by giving another thanks to Actual Factual in the chat, otherwise known as Andrew Gillis, for making such a wonderful game and giving us the opportunity to run it on Speculate. I am digging Girl by Moonlight, and I know that you will be digging it too, so definitely check out Evil Hat Productions, because this game is going to be awesome, and you're going to want to get your hands on it as soon as it becomes available. Thank you to Evil Hat Productions for sponsoring this series, and I hope that all of you have been enjoying it so far. A reminder that there are multiple ways that you can support this wonderful channel: by joining the Discord at !org, by watching the VODs of this and other content on this channel at !orgtube, by buying merch at !orgshop, by following Speculate not only on Twitter, and there is in fact a Fractal Spire Twitter as well, if I am not mistaken. It is twitter.com/, hold on, yes, twitter.com/SpireFractal. Some of the weird stuff some of the weird content stuff that I have planned to reveal some of the intricacies of Cloud Harbor will also be taking place on that Twitter as well. But if you want to see some of those things first, or some of the things that will not be on that Twitter, you should definitely check out Speculate at !Speculate. Definitely support Arv's Patreon as well, !Arvtreon. Without your support on that Patreon, this wouldn't be on this channel in the first place, because I wouldn't have the computer that would allow me to do so. So thank you so very much for everyone who has supported. Again, I would like to see us get to the point where we can do even more things, not only on this channel, but in general. So please, if you can support, please continue to do so. Thank you also very, very much for being here this evening. A special thanks, obviously, to the mods, Arudinel X4 and Triffid Emats. I'm pretty sure Dragonspear was also here earlier. I may have been mistaken. I may have missed that in the midst of the raid that we had earlier. Thank you again as well to those raiders from God, a channel that I totally forgot the name of all of a sudden. But thank you so very much for joining us for tonight's stream. I hope that you enjoyed what you saw, and I hope that you will come back again at some point in the future. But thank you to Arudnal and Triffity Mats for moderating, as always. As Arv always says, you are the best in the business, and that is definitely the truth. Thank you so very much to everyone who watched tonight's stream, including but not limited to Actual Factual, Academy Impossible, Art Heart Studios, Blue Box RPG, Katie Dearest, Chicory Coffee, Crit Twitch, Denny Paxion, iShield2222, Hunt to the Wind, Iceman 19468, It's Emma, Carl Raven, Kusanu Yori, Lilituff, Midsoon, Pixie Phoenix, Saint Pomelo, Sissy Beast Mojo, Taran Wanderer, The Kids Are Asleep, Turbo Tango, Video Store Cowboy, Yvonne Meat, and We Love Marbles. Thank you for watching tonight's stream. I hope that you enjoyed every minute of it. I hope that if you're listening to it on the website or wherever you get your favorite podcasts, that you're having a wonderful day while listening to it. Thank you so very much for joining us. I hope that you have a wonderful evening. I hope that you have a wonderful week. And I hope that you have sweet dreams. Thank you so very much for joining us this evening, and we will see you for our next session. As for the content coming up to this channel in the future, there is a Bag of Giving stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. Star Trek Adventures with Nathan Burgoyne as GM to benefit Max Ottawa and Trans Texas. So definitely support that whenever you're ready. And on Tuesday, we will be celebrating on this channel the 10-year streaming anniversary of Arvan Elrond. So if you want to nominate more content for the Patreon Fuel Chat Chosen Game of the Month, get into some Adventures in Middle-earth shenanigans, possibly experience a great deal of more other game shenanigans with Arv, and discover the cool cover for the upcoming Greyshade novel that Arv has in the works. ! Greyshade Chaos for more information about that. You won't want to miss Tuesday's stream. It's going to be rad. I'm telling you that this book is awesome. You definitely want to check it out. I'm very grateful to have read the thing already and very excited to see what shape that it takes now that all of those edits are done, and I want y'all to be able to bask in the beauty of the story that Greg is telling. So definitely attend on Tuesday for the 10-year streaming anniversary. It's going to be a lot of fun. But until the next time you see us, have a good night, have a good week, and have sweet dreams, everyone. We will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye. So here are all of my encouragements for you all to make terrible decisions, as I am the GM.
Ash has a crossbow bolt in her side, 0 dots in skirmish, and 0 dots in wreck. And I'm so excited to see this get even worse. So that's 1 vote for escalation.
Skelly has 3 guns and all the ammo.
Crossroads has no guns, but Crossroads is a gun powered by ghosts.
Have we established that your guns are special to you? I feel like we're establishing that your guns are special to you.
Before this crew, they were my only friends.
You've known us for 5 days. You've known those guns a lot longer.
These are my babies.
I just want to say, Rowan was starting to do this, and then he realizes to harvest. This doesn't help. Don't do that.
This is not.
No.
This is not. Don't do
this.
this thing.
Yeah.
Doing this to an executioner.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
Like this,
We call that the go sign, you know? Yeah.
Oh man.
This theme's great. I will do a fortune roll. Notes. No thoughts. Head empty. 1! I rolled a 1!
Yep.